Hello there, I'm Azaria Tagaya and this is Nightline, the headlines. Government announces COVID-19 booster shot for vulnerable groups. And freeze on foreign workers intake to stay until December 31st. Good morning. The Malaysian government has agreed to the administration of COVID-19 booster shots for high-risk groups after 80% of the country's population have been fully vaccinated. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, in announcing this on Sunday, said a panel of medical and health experts were currently in the midst of developing guidelines for the implementation of this third dose. Among those who will be prioritised for the booster shots include frontline medical personnel, immunocompromised individuals, senior citizens with comorbidities and those residing and working in long-term care facilities. In a statement, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said all details involving the administration of the third COVID-19 vaccine dose will be announced by Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin. According to the COVID-19 Vaccine Supply Access Guarantee Special Committee, JKJAV, as of Saturday, 78.2% of the adult population had been fully vaccinated, with 93.1% given at least one dose, including of the single-dose CanSino vaccine. The country is expected to have 80% of its adult population fully vaccinated by September 21st. Separately, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri announced that the government has allocated 471.6 million ringgit for the COVID-19 Care Package or PPC meant for Malaysians in the B40 income category. The Prime Minister said the allocation was aimed at alleviating the financial burden of B40 households and assisting them in protecting themselves from COVID-19 as the country transitioned towards the endemic phase. Items included in the PPC for each household consisted of 4 reusable face masks, 4 COVID-19 self-test kits, 1 pulse oximeter, 1 thermometer including user guideline and health brochures. In total, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said 8.4 million eligible recipients of Bantuan Prihatin Rakyat will receive the care package. On the heels of the announcement by the Prime Minister earlier on Sunday, Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin said he has set early October as the target for the administration of COVID-19 vaccine booster shots. Priority for the administration of the third dose would be given to high-risk groups. Speaking after chairing the COVID-19 Immunisation Task Force meeting in Alostar, Kedah, Khairi said the initiative is crucial since the Health Ministry's data showed that these are those who made up most of the death numbers and were admitted to hospitals as Category 5 patients. On the type of vaccine to be administered as a booster shot, Khairi said the Ministry was still in the process of obtaining information from COVID-19 manufacturers to register it with the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency.
Saya jangkakan dalam tempoh masa seminggu 2 boleh diluluskan. Lepas itu saya akan buat pengumuman jenis vaksin apa, boleh campur ke tidak, kena ambil vaksin yang sama ke tidak.
Khairi also stressed that the move to provide booster shots does not mean that the 2 doses of vaccines previously given to the people is not effective. Instead, the administration of the third dose of the vaccine would increase the immune system of the people against the virus, adding that many nations have begun giving booster shots, including the US, the United Kingdom and Singapore. In other news, Khairi said that there is a need to tighten checks on the mysuggester application status of individuals at all premises, especially supermarkets, to ensure those placed under the Home Supervision Order (HSO) do not gain entry. He said his ministry had detected non-compliance of the HSO because there were still individuals found checking in at supermarkets despite being in the quarantine period. Khairi said his ministry had also asked all employers to tighten procedures at workplaces by allowing only fully vaccinated individuals to return to work. Meanwhile, Khairi said the mysuggester team has resolved over 500,000 complaints of digital vaccination certificates not being displayed on the mysuggester application within a week.
Ada 200,000 lagi yang perlu dikemas kini dan diputihkan Jadi saya telah bagi tempoh masa sedikit lagi untuk selesaikan 200,000 ini. Dan saya juga telah minta mysuggester sentiasa memantau media sosial. Siapa yang buat aduan saja dapatkan maklumat mereka, selesaikan maklumat mereka.
Kyrie also said those experiencing issues over the digital certificates could use the physical vaccination cards to enjoy the privileges accorded to those who had been fully vaccinated. Malaysia recorded 14,954 new COVID-19 positive cases on Sunday, raising the national tally to 2,097,830 infections since the pandemic struck the country last year. Sarawak remained as the state with the highest number of new infections with 2,707 cases, followed by Selangor with 2,028 cases and Johor with 1,948. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said the number of patients at the intensive care units were 1,194, with 665 of them in need of ventilators. He said that only 243 cases are classified as in more critical condition, while the remaining have mild symptoms. Of the 19 new clusters detected, 13 were related to workplaces. As of August, a total of 1,517 children nationwide had become orphans due to the death of one or both of their parents from COVID-19. According to the Women, Family and Community Development Ministry, 7 out of 36 institutions under the Department of Social Welfare have been allocated across the country to provide protection to orphans. Suryana Welfare Society Malaysia is one of the welfare bodies that offers help to the orphans during these hard times. Our reporter Hakim Azman has the story.
The grief of losing a loved one suddenly is enormous, especially when the globe is grappled by this pandemic. What makes it even intense is that they have nowhere to go. According to Suryana Welfare Society Malaysia Chairman Dr. James Nayaga, 150 orphan cases from COVID-19 were reported from January to April 2021 and 200 cases from May to August 2021. He said the increase in the number is quite worrying as orphans are vulnerable and helpless. He also added that several initiatives have been taken in an effort to save them from a gloomy future.
We are giving them food aid and other forms of help so that the children receive immediate assistance. The second one is emotional support and other forms of health services. And the third one, as I said, those who need a place to stay will be provided a home.
Dr. James said the initiative to aid the orphans due to COVID-19 were developed with the cooperation of the community members at Desa Mentari, Petaling Jaya.
Mana yang terkesan dengan COVID ini, yang kehilangan ibu bapa, memang ada maklumat pada kami. Dan kami akan pergi sendiri ke rumah mereka masing-masing untuk ambil dia punya detail-detail yang perlu untuk kita serahkan pada pihak Suryana untuk penyediaan bantuan-bantuan yang perlu.
Muhammad Zaini noted that immediate action is needed to ensure that the well-being and the fate of the orphans are protected. Muhammad Rais Abdul Razak became an orphan after his father succumbed to COVID-19 on July 7 this year. As the eldest son in the family, he has to take over the responsibility of looking after his mother and siblings as sole breadwinner for his family.
Masa belajar kena bahagi, masa kerja kena bahagi. Saya juga buat extra income, buat perniagaan lah. Contohnya macam MB, public pool, and ada juga jual pencuci mulut.
Muhammad Rais added that with determination and hard work, he is able to enjoy the hardships of being the sole breadwinner of the family at such a young age. He also urged the public to always abide to SOPs and not to underestimate the spread of the virus that can claim the lives of loved ones. Hakim Azman for Nightline, TV3.
Are nano spray gun sanitizing liquids safe? This was the question posed by the Consumers Association of Pulau Pinang, CAP, to the Health Ministry. CAP said that this was because nano spray guns were commonly used at home and workplaces during the current COVID-19 pandemic. In a statement on Sunday, CAP President Mohideen Abdul Kadir pointed out that the sanitizing liquids for such guns were easily available, although information from the Health Ministry was scant. He said many of them did not declare the ingredients on their labels, and some even touted proven active ingredients against virus listed in the World Health Organization (WHO), the National Environment Agency and the Ministry. Mohideen said although chemicals may have been declared safe and efficacious by various agencies and organizations, they must also be treated with extreme care because the safety aspect of a chemical hinged on the duration of exposure as well as its concentration. Moreover, he said a person may have adverse reactions to a particular chemical in the liquid. According to CAP, some of the liquids sold do not even have a proper warning label, handling instructions, the name of the manufacturer or distributor, and the ingredients and their concentration. As such, CAP said it is concerned because some people have used the gun to discharge the aerosolized liquid onto their entire body, because inhalation of the aerosol may be detrimental to the respiratory system, or the liquid may come in contact with the eyes and mouth area. He added that nano spray guns were popular items because they were perceived as a viable sanitizing method for personal use, and people needed to know if the chemicals they were handling were safe. Human Resources Minister Datuk Sri M. Saravanan said the freeze on foreign workers, including domestic workers, will be extended until December 31st. He added any decision to bring them in would be announced by the government after a discussion with the Ministry, National Security Council and other relevant ministries. Datuk Sri Saravanan urged and advised private employment agencies that are registered and have been given licenses by the Ministry to not make any statements or advertisements that will confuse employers. He noted that there has been no entry of foreign workers into the country since the implementation of the Movement Control Order on March 18th last year. He added that the ministry was still in talks with the Indonesian government to finalize a memorandum of understanding regarding the intake of domestic workers. As of August 2021, he said that there were 92,481 foreign domestic workers in the country, of which 64,181 were from Indonesia. After the break, man found dead in car submerged underwater. Welcome back to Nightline. Illegal house renovations have been identified as among the causes of the landslide incident at Jalan Kemensa Heights on Friday. Energy and Natural Resources Minister Datuk Sri Taqiyuddin Hassan, who visited the scene on Sunday, said he realised that some owners had to renovate their houses to accommodate a larger family. Datuk Sri Taqiyuddin said such works, however, should be carried out in accordance with stipulated guidelines and procedures to avoid such incidents.
JMG akan mengeluarkan satu hasil kajian, yang mana hasil kajian ini akan menjadi panduan kepada jabatan-jabatan lain untuk mengambil tindakan yang selanjutnya. Bagi contohnya, tindakan yang perlu diambil oleh Jabatan Pengairan dan Saliran, JPS.
Datuk Sri Taqiyuddin said a report on the landslide incident was being prepared by the Department of Minerals and Geosciences and is expected to be completed on Monday. Meanwhile, Gombak District Officer Nur Azlina Abdul Aziz said the Ampang Jaya Municipal Council had been instructed to inspect the slopes and construction sites in the Kemensa Heights area to ensure compliance with stipulated conditions and regulations. In the landslide at Jalan Kemensa Heights on Friday, 3 bungalows and 12 townhouses involving 27 families were affected. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. The stretch of road affected by slope failure and soil movement at Jalan Simpang Pulai, Cameron Highlands will be realigned. Perak Public Works Department Director Zulkifli Nasri said the federal government has allocated 130 million ringgit for road alignment works due to a series of soil movement incidents along the stretch. Zulkifli said that based on initial observations, the slope at the stretch of road is too close to the current main road, besides not being in good condition.
We will make use, kita akan gunakan jalan ni, cuma kita akan buat penambahbaikan untuk what they call memberi setidak-tidak dia, kalau berdasarkan pada pengukuhan jalan, setidak-tidak dia pun kita akan buka kepada light vehicle. Tapi kita akan buat siasatan lanjut dulu.
He added that authorities will try their best to assist motorists that need to utilize the road, especially those involved in economic activities in Cameron Highlands, to transport their crops and other goods. He said this after visiting the site of the incident at Jalan Simpang Pulai, Cameron Highlands on Sunday. Also present were Perak Menteri Besar Datuk Sa'arani Mohamad and Perak Infrastructure, Energy, Water and Public Transport Committee Chairman Datuk Muhammad Zulkifli Harun. He added that previously authorities had already come up with a road alignment plan and the federal government had given the green light to start the work in December. He said the road realignment is expected to take about 3 years to complete. The federal road between Simpang Pulai and Cameron Highlands was closed to all vehicles beginning 9 p.m. on Saturday night until further notice due to slope failure. It was believed that the continuous heavy rain for several days had caused the soil structure to be unstable and weak. Road users are advised to use an alternative route, which is via Jalan Tapah Ringlet. In Sabah, a man has been found dead inside his car, which was submerged in the sea at a water village in Sandakan district. Sandakan Fire and Rescue Department Chief Jimmy Lagong said they received a call about an almost fully submerged vehicle in Kampung Batu Tujuh at 5:44 a.m. Sunday and had gone to investigate. Rescuers then had proceeded to haul the vehicle out of the water, and that was when the victim, identified as 62-year-old Thien Nyuk Kong, was found seated in the driver's seat. Sandakan Acting OCPD Superintendent Abdul Fuad said they were still investigating whether there are elements of foul play, and information is still being gathered from villagers and possible witnesses to the incident. Thien's body was handed to the police for further action. Police have opened investigations over an alleged violation of standard operating procedures during a birthday party in Bukit Bintang. This is after a 1-minute video clip of the incident went viral, showing a group of individuals celebrating a birthday party at a premises in the area. Dang Wangi OCPD ACP Nur Delhan Yahya said authorities have opened investigations under Section 21A of the Prevention and Control of Infectious Diseases Act, Rule 17 of the Prevention and Control of Infectious Diseases Regulations. He said that so far, 4 individuals have been called to have their statements recorded at the Dang Wangi Police Headquarters. He added the investigation papers will be handed over to the Deputy Public Prosecutor for further instruction. Coming up, Putin's party set to retain parliament majority after polls. We're back with news on the foreign front. President Vladimir Putin's party was set to retain a majority in parliament as Russia on Sunday concluded a three-day election in which most Kremlin critics were barred from running. The vote comes in the wake of an unprecedented crackdown on the opposition this year, with Russian authorities jailing Putin's best-known domestic foe, Alexei Navalny, and banning his organizations as extremist. In the lead-up to this weekend's vote, all of his top allies were arrested or had fled the country, with anyone associated with his groups kept from running in the parliamentary and local polls, which was scheduled to close at 8 p.m. on Sunday across 11 local time zones. The elections were also marred by claims of censorship and rampant ballot stuffing. While 68-year-old Putin remains popular, United Russia has seen its support drop as living standards decline following years of economic stagnation. Philippine boxer turned politician Manny Pacquiao declared Sunday he will run for president in 2022, ending months of speculation about whether the legendary fighter would seek the country's top job. In a statement, Pacquiao said he is ready to rise to the challenge of leadership as he accepted the nomination of a rival faction in President Rodrigo Duterte's ruling party. The 8th-division world champion and beloved national hero made the announcement weeks after losing what could be his last professional fight against Cuban Yordenis Ugas in Las Vegas. Pacquiao, who entered politics in 2010 as a congressman before being elected to the Senate, has long been expected to make a tilt for the country's highest office. The 42-year-old is deeply admired in the archipelago nation for his generosity and hauling himself out of poverty to become one of the world's greatest and wealthiest boxers. His boxing credentials, along with fighting poverty and corruption, are likely to be the key themes of his campaign. US President Joe Biden has requested early talks with French President Emmanuel Macron in an apparent effort to mend fences after a row of submarines contracts sparked rare tensions between the allies. French government spokesman Gabriel Attal said on Sunday that there would be a telephone conversation between Biden and Macron in the coming days at the request of the US president. Attal said Macron will ask the US president for clarification after the announcement of a US-Australian-British defence pact that prompted Canberra's cancellation of the huge contract for diesel-electric French vessels. The announcement came after Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison rejected French accusations that Canberra had lied about plans to cancel the contract to buy French submarines, saying he had raised concerns over the deal some months ago. Australia's decision to tear up the French deal in favour of American nuclear-powered vessels sparked outrage in Paris, with Macron recalling France's ambassadors to Canberra and Washington in an unprecedented move. We're back with sports. Jimmy Greaves, one of England's greatest goal scorers, who was prolific for Tottenham, Chelsea and AC Milan, has died. He was 81. With 266 goals in 379 appearances, Greaves was the all-time record scorer for Tottenham, which announced his death on Sunday. A member of England's 1966 World Cup winning squad, Greaves scored 44 goals in his 57 appearances for England. His strike rate was phenomenal, as he scored 357 goals in England's top flight, a record which still stands. Bayern Munich were in seventh heaven in the German Bundesliga as Julian Nagelsmann's side trashed VfB Bochum 7-0 at the Allianz Arena. Bayern scored 4 goals in the first half and 3 in the second against the newly promoted side. In truth, it could have been a lot more than 7. Leroy Sané, Joshua Kimmich with 2 goals, Serge Gnabry, a Vasilios Lampropoulos own goal, Robert Lewandowski and Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting all made the score sheet. The resounding win moves Bayern a point clear of Wolfsburg at the top of the table, who host Eintracht Frankfurt on Sunday. Next up for Bayern is lowly 4th, the only team in the Bundesliga below Bochum. In another match, RB Leipzig's inconsistent start to the new German Bundesliga season continued with a 1-1 draw against Cologne, a result which brought a 3-game losing streak across all competitions to an end for Jesse Marsch's side. Amadou Aidara cancelled out Anthony Modest's 53rd minute opener for Cologne to leave Leipzig with just 4 points from their opening 5 league matches of the campaign. With the result, Cologne climb on the 6th spot, whereas Leipzig slipped to the 13th spot. A French daredevil wowed crowds in the centre of Paris on Saturday by walking 600 metres on a tightrope between the Eiffel Tower and Trocadero Square. Nathan Poulin, a famous tightrope artist, relied only on a narrow strip of rope just 2.5 centimetres wide to keep him safe. Let's take a look as we wrap up Nightline this time around. I'm Azaria Tagaya. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.